Well, here we are again.
Hey guys. It's been a while, but welcome back.
How long has it been, Alex?
It's been about a year. We're all a year older.
A year older. It's just as cold as it was a year ago here on the Genesis planet.
Here on the Genesis planet.
Columbo episodes.
Not quite as cold, actually. I remember the end of the last episode, I was actually shivering.
Yes.
But welcome back to the 5th episode of It's Been a While. Are you ready for this? Alex and Constantine's reviews. Yes. Feels so good.
It's awesome. Yes. In this episode, we are looking at season number 5 of Columbo, which there's only 6 episodes in season 5. I would say better than season 4.
Better than season 4.
As good as season 3?
No.
No.
So the way I see it is that, from season 1 to 3, it kept getting better until 3 was kind of our peak Columbo. But then season 4, I don't know, they kind of just messed around for a little bit, but then they brought it back for season 5, but just not quite as good as season 3. Now you might be wondering, Alex and Uncle Costa, how come if there's only 6 episodes, they take you an
Why
entire
did it take us so long, Alex?
year?
Yeah.
We're busy.
Yeah, sorry.
We're
guys.
busy. That's about it.
Thank you very much for the very nice comments.
Yes,
actually,
thank you so much.
And again, the disclaimer or the same thing we always say. I know that your list probably doesn't agree with ours. I think these are all very subjective. Sometimes we're way off, like things that we didn't like very much at all. People in the comments are like, man, that was the best episode and you guys hated it. And then they'll put the best one that we thought was the best at the bottom. But I think it's kind of subjective. And even us, if we saw the same episodes again, we would probably change our listing a little bit because you see things in different episodes that you don't see the first time around.
Yeah.
And speaking of comments, we're going to go through
Comment of the week.
2 comments of the week.
Or should I say
Comment
year?
of the year.
Yeah.
Comment of 2022. So we have, looks like Brownie Superfan number 1 says, Constantine, love your style. You should have a different co-host. Now, Brownie Superfan number 1. Alex's name is on the channel, so I don't think we'll be changing Alex anytime soon. And that's really not very nice.
Dang.
And the second comment we have here is from, let's see, what it says here. Where is that one? What is the name of that? Toshiba Voodoo says, great big Columbo fan in my 50s and wants to see what America used to feel like. Yeah, I mean, I'm in my 50s also. Alex is watching this for the first time, but have you noticed any culturally? Have you culturally or anything watching these shows? Have you do you see something different? Kind of a feel for what America was like back then?
Feels like it used to be simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say
it
so.
Feels like it. I don't know.
Yeah, they actually had phones connected to walls. They didn't have cell phones like this. So, without further ado, should we get into our list?
I think we should.
Okay. So, 6 episodes. Our number 6, I don't think it'll be a surprise to anybody who watches Columbo. It's called Last Salute to the Commodore.
Last Salute to the Commodore. This is a notorious episode for possibly being the worst in classic Columbo. And, for good reason, I think. While it's not a terrible episode by any means, it's still Columbo, so it's still got a little bit of that Columbo charm. What it does wrong, in my opinion, is it messes with the formula.
Yeah. Yeah, it messes with the formula. Instead of Columbo, they don't tell you who did it. It's more like a Agatha Christie style thing where everybody gets together at the end and in the same room and he kind of goes through. But the whole I didn't think the clues were very good. And then the whole thing was Commodore's watch. Commodore's watch. Commodore's watch. And then the one guy goes, tisn't. And that was
yeah.
And you said tisn't, meaning it isn't. And that was it.
So basically what the ending was, which I don't know if we should talk about the ending before first, but
go ahead.
Screw it. That's the worst part, right?
Yeah.
So what the ending was is that Columbo has this watch. It isn't the Commodore's watch, but he asks people if it is. And he holds up their ears, and the watch is ticking. Everybody except for one person. He goes, is this the Commodore's watch? And
Who cares? I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
He's like, yeah, it is.
But the guy who did it,
he goes, this is the Commodore's watch, right? And he goes, tisn't. And then that's the end of the investigation. The whole episode up until that point no longer matters because that guy knew it wasn't the Commodore's watch.
He admitted it, basically. I don't know. It was directed by Patrick McGoohan, who also played the commandant in that one episode,
Yeah.
which some people got mad at us because we didn't like it that much. And Patrick McGoohan, I guess he's a friend of Peter Falk's in real life, or he was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big. He also plays a villain in another episode. I don't know. Not my thing. It was
I
fine.
don't know.
Let's move on to number 5. I think What else? Is there anything else we need to say about the last salute?
It's just
to
not very good.
The daughter was always drunk.
The daughter was always strong. It's just not very good in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's kind of forgettable.
Yeah. It's just.
And we watched this one last week too.
Yeah.
Only a few days ago.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Now, number 5 and number 4 are actually very. We had a hard time deciding.
Seems like all the planes in Nevada are taking off right now.
You hear planes? I don't hear anything.
The
Are we in
planes.
Nevada?
We in Nevada.
We're on the Genesis planet, Alex.
We're on Genesis planet.
So anyway, we had number 5, A Matter of Honor. Ricardo Montalban plays the what was he?
The villain.
He's a villain, and he's a matador.
He's a matador.
An
Yes.
aging matador.
No longer in his prime matador. So Columbo gets stuck in Mexico.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
So it starts with the episode starts with the villain's name. I forgot his name. What's his name? Do you remember his name?
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name. It doesn't matter. He wants to kill his guy because he showed that he wasn't as brave as he was because the victim's son tried to kill this bull, but he didn't do it.
The bull was accidentally let loose. It went after the victim's son, and this great matador, who was a hero in Mexico, he froze. And the guy who saw him freeze, which was a longtime friend, and the plot is that he killed him. That was in fact that they didn't know the motive.
They didn't know the motive.
And Columbo figured out the motive was that he was embarrassed because of his pride. He was so proud. He had so much pride in his ability, and he froze. And the fact that this guy saw it, he had to kill him because he didn't want him to talk.
Yeah. So basically, he killed him because of his ego. Basically.
Yes. Yes.
And Columbo gets stuck in Mexico and is put on the case by this one police officer.
Right. And it was kind of crazy because that guy, the matador, has a lot of power. He's very rich, very famous, and this poor Mexican cop is like, I really don't want to go against him. So kind of Columbo put his neck on the line. Ricardo Montalban, very good. Actually, I thought he played a pretty good villain. He was very sinister, and I really especially enjoyed the end when after Columbo proved to him that he knew that he did it, he didn't say a word. He was just in his face. The whole thing was like, and he just handed his stuff over. Didn't say a word. I thought that was pretty good acting. I thought.
Yeah, the ending was nice because how Columbo got him is that he just had a bullfight. He gets the bad guy in the bull cage because he thought the same thing was going to happen, but this time his dad isn't there to save him because he killed his dad.
He froze.
He froze
He froze
again, but this time it was in front of everybody, so he can't kill everybody. So
Yeah. He froze, and then that will kind of prove the point that he
kind
was
of
a killer.
proved that it was just for his ego, just for his
Correct.
honor. Matter of
A matter of honor.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Good episode. Dude,
it was good. Good classic
Just
Columbo.
because it's at number 5, I mean, we have to say this every episode, but just because it's at number 5 doesn't mean it's bad,
Yeah, it was excellent. It was all around a great episode.
Good episode.
Yeah, no question. It was just, but we had some pretty strong contenders.
Yeah.
Number 4, we had A Case of Immunity. Now, to us, we were having a hard time deciding which one to put at 4 and which one at 5. A Case of Immunity is where.
So they're in an embassy, right? And how about you start us off with this?
Okay, they're in an embassy, and one of the assistants to the king wants to kill. He's trying to overthrow the king or something, and there's some protesters outside, and they're for the king because the king is young and progressive, but this guy's trying to create some kind of unrest, so he kills the head guard, and he has an accomplice, and the rules in Columbo are if you try to blackmail somebody, you get killed, and if you're an accomplice and Columbo gets too close, you get killed also.
You get killed,
yeah. So he got clicked.
So just stay away from the murder as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, and a good episode. The bad guy was pretty good. Now, in this case, Columbo is trying to solve the murder in the embassy, and it's something to do with diplomatic immunity. If you're in an embassy, it's kind of like being in a foreign land, and you can't really arrest them. Plus, they had a lot of political power, and they went to Columbo's boss and all this other stuff.
And what's funny is that Columbo like stumbles onto the case on accident, because if you remember in the very
That's
first
right.
and like in the scene where they have a meeting,
Yep.
he like calls a different officer that kind of sounds like Columbo,
Yeah.
but then it gets switched around, and then he shows up, and now he's just on the case.
Yep.
And it's funny because you can't even arrest him because it's in an embassy. So then you just have to wait until the end to see what happens.
And so in the end, he solved the case. He even told the bad guy how he did it, and the guy's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, I did it. What are you gonna do about it?
And then right before he admitted it to him, the king flew off back to their country.
So he
or
was
so we thought.
for what he thought, he was crystal clear. The king was gone, back into his country. He was just at home, drinking tea or whatever, because he thought he committed the perfect crime. Because no one,
You can't bust him.
yeah, you can't bust him. You literally couldn't. Until turns out the king was in cahoots with Columbo the whole time, baby.
That's right.
The king was hiding in his room, behind the curtains or something, and Columbo comes and he's like, "Well, you beat me. You did it. Good job. I know you did it. But there's nothing I could do about it." And he was like, "No, you cannot do anything about it, Columbo."
Yes, Columbo. I am a genius, and keep going. Tell
I'm
me
a
how great
genius.
I am.
So cool. I'm so cool.
I'm
Would you
so
like
wonderful.
a cigar?
Would you like a cigar? Would
And
you
he was
like yeah?
Now, can you tell me exactly how you did it? And he's like, "Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Yeah.
I did kill this guy by doing this and this and this." And he's like, very good. That's what I thought." And then the king comes out, and then just the look on the feet on the guy's face.
Yeah.
He's like,
And he says, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, you're right. We can't arrest you." And the king's like, "Oh, yeah, it's okay. We'll just take you and try you back home.
yeah.
And we have different penalties for people who did what you did back home. And I'm sure they're not gonna be happy about what you did." He's like, "No, Columbo, actually, I did it. I'll sign a confession and everything."
Yeah.
Columbo already had it typed up. He goes, "Oh, here it is. Just sign."
yeah. He was piggybacking on the fact that he wouldn't want to go back to his country and
Right.
face whatever consequences he would have to there. And then Columbo gets his man, as always.
That's right.
Good episode. Just a good episode. This is just a good season compared to the last one.
Yeah,
It was a breath of
great.
fresh air, really.
Correct. It was a great episode again. Number 3 is Identity Crisis. Again with Patrick McGoohan, who is Columbo's buddy. And what's going on in Identity Crisis?
Identity crisis. So there's these guys that are CIA, spies, agents, and this guy wants to kill another agent because why?
He was running a scam with another
Yes.
guy that he was impersonating,
He was
Steinmetz.
impersonating a different person, Steinmetz, who is hiring people. And I guess they're trying to track down this Steinmetz, not knowing that it's this other CIA agent. So I'm assuming somebody got a little bit too close to figuring out who Steinmetz was.
Yeah.
So-
it's like this whole. It's what's kind of interesting in this. This now we have Columbo entering the world of espionage. He's just a local LA cop. That's what
Yeah.
he is. He's a homicide cop in LA. Now he's somehow he came across this case where somebody gets killed, and the murderer is this high level CIA spy, and he's in deep cover. So much so that the director of CIA comes down and tells Columbo, "Listen, we need you to back off here because this is a deep cover guy," and then Columbo he even starts talking to the CIA director. "Hey, what about the Steinmetz?" He goes, "Yeah, we can't find him either." But Columbo actually figured it out.
And then Columbo figured it out.
And in that one, that episode ended on. They didn't tell us. Columbo figured it out, but they didn't tell us.
Yeah, they actually didn't. They never told us if Columbo got his guy.
Right.
You always see him walking him out in cuffs, or the guy's "I was signing a confession," but no, he was just "Yeah, whatever," and then it was Columbo. It just ended right there.
Yeah.
And you never. I mean, I would like to think that he got caught, but we'll never know.
He may. Yeah. They don't tell us.
Never
if
know.
Columbo actually, the guy did get arrested. So, that was Identity Crisis. Pretty cool episode, and we kind of a lot of fan theories out there about whether Columbo's even married. Is there a wife? Some people say that maybe that's just the whole thing is just a something he says to as part of his shtick with the villains. But in this episode, actually,
His house gets bugged.
the CIA
Yeah.
guy Columbo plays some music that he says, that's my wife's favorite record. He goes, yeah, I know. So the guy had bugged Columbo's house, and he knew that he was married, and so I guess that kind of proves that Columbo is married.
That was my wife's favorite music. If he knows that it's his wife's favorite music,
Right.
then, it makes sense. But if he didn't have a wife, he would have been like, what wife?
Yeah, you're not even married, Columbo, you liar.
Forever alone.
Exactly. Now, number 2, I mean, excellent episode. In our opinion, number 2 was Forgotten Lady.
Forgotten Lady. So there's this old actor, really old, right? And she used to be a big star when she was younger, and she would be on all these like Broadway kind of shows, I guess you would call them, like musicals.
Musicals, yeah.
Yes. She'd be in all sorts of musicals, and she was big time. But she's been wanting to get back into the life of.
She wanted to be a star
Yeah,
again.
she wanted to be a star again. But she's old. She's old. She's not as popular as she was, but nonetheless, she wanted to do it again.
Yeah.
So then she was like, randomly announced on the news that she's starting a new production with her buddy or whatever, and he didn't even tell the husband about it before. But then they're like, "How are you gonna pay for it?" And he's like, "I'll just get my husband to pay for it." So then she tries. Husband goes, "No, you're old. How about
No,
we just?"
they were supposed to go on a cruise, right?
Oh yeah. No, you're old. How about we just do our world tour thingy that we're gonna do?
Yeah, let's go on a cruise. Relax.
Relax. We're retired for a reason. Like mostly tired. Like, how about we just like relax and just enjoy the rest of our life?
Yeah.
But she's like, no, I want to be a star. I want to dance
Yeah.
and stuff. So then she wants to be a star and dance and have money so bad that
She actually
just
kills
her husband.
Which we found out later was really a great guy.
Yeah, really.
And there's
cool
a
guy.
reason he didn't give her the money to do the production is because Columbo finds out.
Columbo finds out that she has some.
She's like terminal.
Yeah.
She has some kind of some aneurysm
sort
or
of like
something. And she
tumor
could
or
die
something.
any time now.
She
like
could
in a
die
month.
any second. In any like rough
Within
activity.
3 months, she'll be dead.
Any rough activity or anything could like pop her brain open
Yeah.
or something. Which is why she didn't want her to be dancing around. And
To me, what really sold us is, I mean, I think it's amazingly directed. The shots in this episode, I mean, like that one shot where who was the name of her longtime friend, her singing. I think that guy was excellent. Raymond, it was his name.
Yeah,
Was it
Raymond.
Raymond?
Raymond
There was
might
a
be
shot
Raymond.
where Columbo comes to the house and they kind of the back camera away and he's standing there, and at the end when he's kind of looking, when Columbo says, he says, hey, I did it. Oh, and by the way. The lady's demented. She gets no
Crazy.
sympathy from
She's
me
crazy.
at all because I don't think she's just demented. She's evil. She's wicked. Like she's to get in the spotlight, she'll kill somebody. And it's like, oh yeah, but she's old and she's sick. It's like, yeah, but I don't care if somebody's old and sick and they're planning to murder somebody because they want to be a star. Like I don't have any sympathy for her at all. But the actress, I think, is Janet Leigh, who was also in Psycho. Mm-hmm. She sold it. She was so great in this role. I mean, she played this part of this demented woman so well, in my opinion. I thought it was amazing. And if it wasn't for the one that we had for number 1, this would have been it was a great episode. I mean, it was almost flawless.
Columbo was a pretty great Columbo too. It was nice to see him like be a detective and like jump out a window or something.
That's right.
Because like he had to like try to like reenact or like figure out how she definitely could have murdered her husband in that time. So
That's
she
right.
had to like go. He had to like.
Yeah, because the killer had to jump off the balcony, and there was a tree next to the balcony. Columbo, and she's able to do it, and Columbo did it too.
Yeah, and Columbo's like, if
Just
I
to
can
show,
do it,
like,
anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Good episode,
Dude.
Great
I thought it was
episode.
excellent, man. I thought I think just based on the strength of the actress Janet Leigh, it was so good. Like she was so good in it, so convincing, like so demented, and she was like. At the end, you just realize this lady's just crazy, and then the guy like kind of took the fun. And that last line when him and Columbo are talking, and Columbo's telling him how she did it, and Raymond's finally like, she did do it, and he says no, I did it. I'm gonna go. And Columbo's like, in 2 months they'll figure this out, and he goes, well, maybe that's all the time we need.
He confesses to a murder that he didn't even do, just so she could like continue living her fantasy life for the rest of her.
Which is kind of messed up too, in my opinion.
It is kind of messed up.
It's like nobody's ever going to tell this lady the truth. Like, lady, you're demented, you're old. Okay, nothing wrong with being old. I'm old. That's not the point. But you're not. This isn't. you shouldn't be murdering people. But he's like,
Shouldn't be
he took the
murdering
fall.
people.
Instead of like telling her the truth, like, okay, you shouldn't kill people. He's like, it's okay, she can kill somebody.
It's okay.
I'll
Yeah,
take
it's fine.
I'll take the fall.
I'll take the
She's
fall.
my old
She's only
friend.
got,
I
like,
love
3
her.
months.
Yeah, she's got
Watch
3 months to
Lucy or
live. We'll just let
whatever.
her die in oblivion, being oblivious to everything.
Yes.
And anything else we want to say about
No.
the Forgotten Lady?
No. Very good episode. I think we got covered it, right?
Yeah, awesome. I thought it was just really greatly shot everything right. Now, our favorite, I think it just really sticks out, and this is one of my favorite all time.
Probably top 3 Columbo
Top 3
episodes.
Columbo all
Probably.
time. Again, the 3rd episode of the bad guy. What's the name of this bad guy? What's that guy?
His name was Santini.
The Santini, but the actor. This is the 3rd episode that he's in, and all 3 amazing.
All 3 of them were great episodes, right?
It's called Now You See Him.
Now you see him. He plays this magician guy, and he's a nice, tricky guy, sneaky guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he kills his boss because he wants 50% of his revenue.
He's being blackmailed.
Because he's being blackmailed. And what do we say about blackmail in
That's
Columbo
right.
episodes?
Mhm.
Never good. Don't do it. So he's being blackmailed because he used to be a Nazi.
in his youth. Yep.
And now his boss is the only one who knows about it. And then he was like, and Santini was like, I don't want to give you 50% of my money, so I'll just shoot you instead.
Yeah.
So
He's so smart. Like he set up the murder like you would set up an illusion.
yeah, he plans it by the second. It's insane. They have this one trick where he goes into a box that they put a box into water for like 10 minutes while like the other people do some
Yes.
stuff. So then he goes into the box and he goes into his little backstage thingy, you know. When they put the thing in the water, everyone thinks he's in the water. So then he commits the crime, and
Through the kitchen, through all these people, wearing a disguise.
wearing a disguise.
And then he has the microphone set up so that when the waiter comes to bring him his cognac,
And then he was
he does a trick on him even, and yeah.
like,
it's-
think of a number between 1 and 3, and he was like 2, and it was like lift over the cup. And he
yeah,
was
it's
like,
an old trick. Yeah,
I knew
it's actually a
pick
pretty good
2.
trick. If you set up that trick with your friends, it is impressive.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah, I've done it a few times. It's actually pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I think this is such a great episode. It's got great characters. The setup. I mean, it's a magician. It's just very cool. I mean, it's just a cool episode. And even the bad guy. You know, obviously nobody likes Nazis. I'm not going to make a case for Nazis, but he was a sympathetic villain in a way that he's like, look, I was young. That's no excuse, but he was I was young, and the guy who's blackmailing was like as bad as he was. This guy was also bad. He's like, well, I don't care if you're a Nazi as long as you give me money. It's like, well, that's not very nice
Well,
either.
that's not cool either.
Yeah, it's not
And
cool either. So
For this episode, they bring everything back. Guess who's back in this episode? None other than Columbo's best partner.
oh yeah,
He's back.
Dude, that guy's so funny.
He's better than ever. He actually he kind of solves the crime. He solves the case in a way.
Yeah.
And it's funny because at the beginning you could tell that he's still a little amateurish.
Was it? Remember when he held all the people back from
Yeah.
by sitting?
He was like,
like 150 people in the theater. And he's like, oh, Columbo's gonna want to talk to each and every one of these people.
I know how thorough Columbo is. Hold every single person who's in this club at the club today. And Columbo's like, let him go.
Yeah, he told Columbo, the people are getting impatient. They want to go home, and they're like, Columbo, do you want to talk to me? He goes, no, let him go.
No.
We have the number? Yeah, we have their names. Yeah, let them go.
And Columbo had a new coat this episode too.
Yeah.
It was just a nice episode. It was just a good episode.
Yeah.
And then they figure out in the ending. They got this like typewriter. Actually, it's not about the ending. There's one of my favorite scenes. First is when Santini was calling up a contestant to go up and help him out with the trick.
Yes. And
So-
Columbo's sitting in the front row.
Columbo's like, I want to do it, Mr. Santini. I want to do it. And then he goes up. I don't get, like he starts walking before his name even gets called on because he wants
right.
to be up there.
That's right.
So everyone can see it happen.
But what does he do? The lock, the handcuffs that Columbo produces. What kind of lock is on there?
They put the same lock that was on the door.
Correct. It was like
That was supposed to be unpickable. It's
Correct.
supposed to be unpickable, but Santini is Mr. Pickable over here. He's
Right.
picking all the locks.
That's right.
So like one of the only people who can pick that lock, he like embedded the lock into the handcuffs and was like, put these handcuffs on and unlock yourself. And then he does it, and Columbo like it's like the shot of like close up Columbo, and he was like, I knew you could do it.
And then he winked at him.
Yeah,
He knew
and
you
then
could do it.
and then Santini's face went from like smug, haha, I solved your thingy, to like,
Well, he was put. I mean, it was so genius because Columbo puts him on the spot.
Yeah.
Because in front of all the audience, if he doesn't pick the lock, if he can't get out of them, he's embarrassed in front of all these people that he's not as good as he says he is. And if he
Yeah.
does it, he proves that he can pick that lock. which makes him guilty. And it's like, okay, that's a clue that this guy's actually the one who got through that door, and it proves Columbo's theory.
And then at the end where he's like, this is the letter he was writing, and he gives it to Santini, he goes, psh, lights it on fire, and he's like, that's okay, I got one, I got it here,
That's right.
and here, and here,
That's
and
right.
here, and like everyone
Yeah.
everyone pulls out a letter, and he was like, you can burn that one too, and it was really funny.
And then a great line, the magician says, and here I'd thought I'd committed the perfect murder. And Columbo goes, what? A perfect murder? That's only an illusion.
Yeah, it's only an illusion. No
Yeah.
such thing as a perfect murder.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, great. I thought just a
Fantastic episode.
Yeah, just very cool. All
I
around
think it's
great
easily
episode.
top 3 Columbo episodes.
I would. I've seen a lot of them. I would say, to me, it's definitely in the top 5.
Top
For
5?
me.
Okay,
for me.
yeah.
Maybe higher.
Well,
Maybe,
you've seen more of them, so
Maybe it's. I think it's a contender for the best of all time. To me.
yes. Okay.
We'll
Good.
see. We'll
So good.
Yeah.
Well, that about wraps up
Yeah.
season 5 of Columbo, a year in the making.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you guys for your very nice comments. And again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those who disagree with us. They probably had the last salute to the Commodore at the top. We
Yeah.
didn't. I'm sorry. So I
Sorry.
apologize in advance to you and all the families of the actors who played in that episode, but we didn't like it very much. I'm sorry.
Sorry. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
We'll be back for season 6.
Yeah. We're gonna
Hopefully
start.
pretty soon.
Yeah. It won't be. It shouldn't take a year.
It's no. See you guys in 2025. Peace out. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.